Hello, Sydney at Palm Beach. This is your 63 190 SL booster. Got it all fixed up. Had to put a stainless steel sleeve in the slave cylinder in here. Everything else was in good condition. The rubber diaphragm in here was reusable, and then of course all the other expendable parts have been replaced. And now we are ready to test. And in the future, if it helps you guys, one of the easiest ways you can test this while the unit is on the ground is a vacuum gauge hooked up to this test port right here, which ordinarily has a plug in it. And as you apply the brakes, the more you apply the brakes, the closer to zero on the vacuum gauge. The more you apply the brakes, the closer to zero the vacuum gauge will read. And I will demonstrate that here in just a minute. First, we're going to go over the testing. We've got vacuum here, and both this gauge and this gauge are going to go to full vacuum, which is produced as much as can be produced by my vacuum pump on the machine. And then this will stay constant as this slowly goes to zero as the brakes are applied, as the booster is applied. Over here we've got our hydraulic section, and I'm using .3 brake fluid, which is what I recommend. And this gauge is our input, and this gauge goes up and will max out, and this gauge will go up and usually maxes out, and that's our input, and that's just a function of the master cylinder on the booster. And the output is what the booster is going to be doing, generating output pressure, boosted output pressure. And this particular booster is a 2-to-1 boost ratio. So this gauge is going to go up, max out, and this gauge here will follow and will read our final pressure. And once we max out at 350, we're going to be reading 600, between 600 and 900. And first things we're going to do is test our vacuum. You want to go over here and put your hand over the air filter. Make sure there's no leakage through there, because we've got two rubber diaphragms or two rubber seals in there that could leak. So that's one thing you can check on the customer's car while the car is sitting still. And then, as I say, we're going to watch this gauge go to zero as the brakes are applied. So we will do that first. This other gauge is staying still. There we have full application of the brakes. Now I'm going to release. Now we'll go over here and we'll watch the actual pressures accumulate. Alright, so we got zero over here, and you'll see we're maxed out here, and we're reading upwards of 900 psi. So that's just so we got a good booster. And another thing we're going to do is come here and check for leaks. We're going to check around here for leakage. Going to check our bleed screws for leakage. You do not need to use this bleed screw for bleeding the brakes. Just use this one. And also check our weak pull right here. Now we'll apply the brakes again. A very nice booster. We're getting close to 900 psi, and it's slowly bleeding off the pressure. That's a function of the master cylinder, not the booster. So this is a very nice booster. Thank you for sending it to me. I appreciate your patience waiting for all my subcontractors to get done doing the CAD plating here. This is the original CAD plating, which is necessary for the inside of the booster can to protect it from rusting and to give the diaphragm something to seal against. And secondarily, it looks pretty, but the primary reason is for rust prevention. And bleeding the brakes, like I say, you don't need to use this bleed screw. Just use this one. Start here, bleed this one first, bleed the right rear, left rear, right front, left front wheel cylinder, and then bleed this one last. And typically on the 190 SL, they're hard to bleed, and so you may need to go around the car 2 or 3 times. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you.